Hey, my name is Carl. I just want to show a quick overview of what you can do with Podman Desktop and specifically Podman Compose, using it as a drop-in replacement for Docker Compose and using it also as a replacement for Docker Desktop. So firstly, we're going to jump into a basic Docker Compose file that we have over here. And as you can see, as we're provisioning an Nginx, with links to 5 nodes. This is a simple Node.js application. It's clearly defined here at the bottom. 5 replicas of that. Then we're going to export some information of that load balancer using an Nginx Prometheus exporter. Here's the actual Prometheus that's going to scrape that specific configuration. Here's a little Grafana instance that's going to visualize the Prometheus data that we've scraped from our Nginx load balancer, and then here is the node configuration. So this is a fairly intense application that's been configured with the Docker Compose standard, but luckily it's using the Compose specification, which is an open specification these days. Just as a point of showing exactly how we're going to go and expose the stats of a specific application. Here is the normal stub status page here. Here's our little app. As a proxy pass configuration here to our application. Here's our Prometheus configuration, scraping the basic Prometheus that's running on 1990, but also scraping the Nginx exporter that's running on 9113. And then here's how we configure our Grafana data source. We're also just dropping in an Nginx dashboard that's been configured to use that specific thing. On this specific one, I can quickly show it to you here, is also just a configuration file that we're pulling into just to reference exactly where we're dropping in the dashboards. And all these things are clearly defined here, as you can see here. So we're linking, interlinking containers with one another. We're doing a few builds here using normal Docker files as well. I'm building a Prometheus container here with the specs, dropping it in here. We're dropping an Nginx Docker file here with also basic configuration, that one that I've just referenced. And let me see if I can show something else. There's our Node app, simple Node app. And yeah, so let's carry on. First thing that we're going to go and do is I will, as usual, just put this to the side and get our Podman Desktop up and running as well. And then what we can do is in our path, we can just go in and say Podman Compose up, right? Simple, just like a drop-in replacement. You can do a symlink from Docker Compose to Podman Compose, and you can just run that. So what's going to happen first is going to go and build my containers, right? With our specific node application. You can see it's building it and putting it in. There's my node, a main image, and then these are the images that's built from that. You're going to see it's going to bring in there's the Nginx, and there's the composed version of that specific one. It's now bringing in the Prometheus as well. And when you click here, you'll see as soon as the containers start initializing, because they're busy composing up, we can start with our experimentation and see exactly how we can make the specific thing work. Okay, so it's busy putting in the Grafana. We see this is a bit bigger. We can go back here. You can see we've already have quite a few images that's been pulled. Pulled in. And let's see, Grafana, it's very chunky. Okay, our stack is now up and running. Okay, so let's go to Chrome and then see exactly what we can go and do here. So our application is running, specifically serving from specific different nodes, because obviously the Nginx is load balancing that. Here's our stub status page. I'm just refreshing that. So you can see we've done like 45 clicks here. So let's just click, then reload, quite a few requests going in and out. Here is our Nagios, our Nginx exporter. It's basically scraping this page and visualizing the information we can see here that's here, right? So obviously that one's a bit more later and greater, so we can just reload that. Here is our main Prometheus that we've configured, right? So a good thing that we can probably go and see here, if we go back to our metrics, is the metric that we're looking for is like that Nginx HTTP requests total is 59. And then, so we can just jump in here and then we can just say HTTP requests total. Let's do a little graph. And you can see, here's our little graph now. Obviously, it's getting up to date as we go around. So the Prometheus is working, and then finally, here is our Nginx dashboard, and here's our requests visualized in our Grafana stack that we've just provisioned as well. Now, the resiliency of this application is pretty robust. So to test that, we're going to run a normal shell script. Let me just get one. Right, so we're going to hit this guy, doing little call requests here. You can see I'm hitting that normal port 80, and the requests are obviously spiking up. And then we're just doing it again, and doing it again, and doing it again. Right, nice. Obviously, you want to make sure that this is working, and obviously the total request is spiking nicely in our Grafana here. And then this thing is configured, and at some point, I think about 10,000 requests, the Grafana freaks out and says like, yeah, I can't give you data now because you need to authenticate. So to do that, we are just quickly going to go and set the password with admin, and just setting the password to, guess what, admin. Now we authenticated, and yeah, it's still accepting the requests. It's obviously doing a nice load test here. Well, I wouldn't call that a super duper load test. Unless you replicate that again, and do that. Can just say, I can probably clone this. And then I can just say enter. And the loads is kind of okay. It's not, my machine's not really freaking out at this point. And we're doing about 12,000 requests now, so the stack's handling, and we can quickly go in here into our Podman desktop and see obviously what's happening. So here's our Nginx exporter. Still, I think it's idling here at this point. Inspect. Let's go back. Let's see. Maybe we'll see a bit more CPU on our Nginx, right? We see. No, there we go. Here you can see this one's busy doing its magic. We're searching 5% of the CPU. Guess we're not really full megs of memory being used for the specific container. Yeah, containers are cool. Yeah. And now how many requests we've pushed through at this point with cool. I guess we can go and check because we have a nice dashboard. Yeah, 32,000. Looking pretty neat. Let's just reload this one. Ooh, it's going up significantly. Yeah, and you can see the stack is still performing well. Here we have our connections accepted, 41,000 over there. We can reload this guy. Still working. Our app is still responsive and serving a page, all using Podman Compose. Fairly reliable with the way that this works. We're very impressed with the way that Podman functions specifically for serving containers. This is obviously on my desktop, so obviously there's some levels of emulation on the Mac as well. But yes, this is an amazing little demo showing you the power of Podman, using containers, using Docker Compose to provision the entire stack, and then graphing everything using Prometheus and Nginx. 50,000 total requests, and it seems like our machine is still doing its thing. So let's go in and start control seeing here, because control seeing is believing, right? There we go. Cool. And then let's wait for these graphs to update. It's updating every 5 seconds. And we'll probably see a nice decline and drop now in our graphs. There's probably no graphs here. We'll just see the request reload. Now 62,000 requests. Well, there we go. Now roughly 62. And there we can see our graphs now dropping very slowly. And yeah, obviously cool things with Grafana. Obviously you can just quickly go in and draw in, and you can go in and explore some data. So choose your Prometheus here, go and select your Nginx. Let's see if there is any waiting connections. I don't think we'll be able to see that there wasn't any waiting connection. It was a bit. No, my face is in this. My face is in the place of where my graph should be. But yes, very nice. Our app is still responsive, still doing its thing. Containers is up and running, and then obviously, plain and simple, you can go back to your normal stack here, and we can just Control C it, and it's gonna go and stop everything. We can just say it can close down, and then starting to clean everything up. Our entire stack is busy shutting down. And the images, these are the images. We can prune images as something used because we've already made copies of them when we built our own images. And it's just basically stopping the last few node apps. And then we can go and clean up everything. Here we go. Command number 3. There we go. And the last one. Go in, delete the stack. Here we go, just clean up. Clean up our images. Put my images ready. Vanilla state. Well, kind of a vanilla state. Let's see. Give it up. Put images done. Cleaned up. Yeah, so in a nutshell, this is Podman Desktop. Great application. Check it out. Available multi-platform. Great tools. I think the Red Hat's done a great job with this. Have a great one.